Flipping ain't easy by your side.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday to you guys. The last day of the month. Cannot believe we are already 2 months into the 2025 year. And how are your sales? That's what I want to know. Now we're talking stats today. Not our stats, but let's talk about eBay. Apparently, a couple of days ago, was covered by Value Added Resource. And I'll show you that here, where hopefully you can read it okay. Otherwise, we're going to have to change this up a little bit. But Value Added Resource has changed, actually has reported. Hold on real quick. I got to do this. I want you guys to be able to see, so you don't need to see our mugs. Okay, Value Added Resource, and good work to Liz Morton at Value Added Resource, by the way. And the link's down below if you want to check out the article. The article goes into talking about eBay Q4 2024 earnings, no clear GMV, gross. It's GMV, gross merchandise volume. Sorry, I didn't know the V off the top of my head. But gross merchandise volume growth strategy is weak. Q1 guidance adds pressure. So what does all this mean? Well, it's first of all, let me congratulate eBay for doing what they've set out to do. Congratulations. I don't have the clapping sound, but you can understand that when eBay hits their goals, and it isn't to create a great website, it isn't to create more buyers hitting the platform, it's to create year-over-year revenue growth for what? The shareholders. And we're going to talk about that here in a minute. So eBay has released Q4 2024 results with weak Q1 guidance, exacerbating concerns about consumer confidence, and CEO Jamie Iannone showing no signs of having any idea how to grow GMV and revenue besides shipping rate increases, legacy discounting tactics, and stealth ad fee hikes. This is Liz Morton's, by the way. That's her summary, and I think she summed it up pretty well. Important stats from the press release: revenue of $2.6 billion, up 1% on an as-reported and FX, that is foreign currency neutral basis, meaning that foreign it had nothing to do with these numbers here. So they're up 1%. Gross merchandise volume of $19.3 billion, up 4% on an as-reported basis, and up 3% on an foreign exchange neutral basis, where foreign involvement brings it up. But it's 1%. Returned $1 billion to stockholders in Q4, including $900 million of share repurchases and $128 million paid in cash dividends to the shareholders. Not to us, by the way. And we don't deserve. We're not. That's not part of the agreement. We're not getting any kind of refund or eBay dividends. Nothing like that. But isn't that something? Dividends. Isn't that something you usually divvy out when things are going smooth? I don't think things are going smooth, but we're going to cover that here in a minute. Total active buyers were reported at 134 million, which is why they were in Q4 2022. This is where they were, so they didn't really lose or gain any in that year. That means eBay managed to eke out only 1% boost to active buyers with significant discounting in Q4, a tactic that previous CEO Devin Wenig was often criticized for in 2018 and 2019. eBay incorporated unaudited supplemental operating data. Now we're going to go through the whole thing, but I will try to make this larger so you can see. As you can see here, it looks like revenues are going up from December 31st, 2023 at 18.5, I believe that's billion, to 19.3 1 year later. And yeah, and how are they doing it? Well, we'll talk about that here in a minute. But let's see. However, despite that minor growth, eBay is still now at 11 consecutive quarters with less active buyers than they had in Q1. That's a concern. Should be a concern for you. It is a concern for me. Look at this chart. This is a report of active buyers from 2018 to 2024. Was quite healthy in 2018. and things are great. This is when we started right here, 2019 full time. And then guess what this is? This is COVID. This is all COVID, this peak here. And then as that kind of died down, it really died down, and it is sort of in this trough. Now, are we on an upswing? I don't know. But eBay, I mean, this last Q3 and Q4 data here is probably due to some advertising that we were all talking about. They've taken our advice. They need to really up their game. I'm sure that throughout this period, other platforms were taking market share, and it's going to get harder. You lose these buyers here, it's going to be harder to get them back. So that's a concern that I have for eBay. Note, eBay changed the definition of GMV and active buyers at the end of 2021 and restated both figures going back to 2018. Once again, eBay declined to provide active seller figures, which were last reported at 17 million in Q4 of 2021. So we're not getting that data. Enthusiast buyers, those with at least 6 purchases days and 800 spend in last 12 months, are stuck at 16 million, which is where they'd been since Q4 2022. So they're still in a holding pattern, which that chart, it looks like a holding pattern here as far as the number of buyers as well. So that's consistent. That means the steep 30% discount eBay has been pumping out in both Q4 and Q1, specifically targeted at turning casual sellers into enthusiast buyers, don't significantly move the needle. So there's your snapshot. Q4 snapshot, 19.3 billion, GMV 2.6 billion in revenues, 27% operating margin, and I don't have any idea what these non-GAAP. This is why we have Basket Noodle visiting the show, so he can explain this to us. But 16 million enthusiast buyers out of the 134 million that the definition is at least 6 purchases days and $800 spend in the last 12 months. So there you go. That is the report of eBay's great job of making money for their shareholders. And this is the section of the video or the live stream where Jenna passes on the packages to our mailman. So good stuff there. Want to know, guys, how you're doing. I could give you really a report of how we're doing as far as performance-wise with sales, like I do on every live stream. For the year, now we're 2 months into the year, and so 2 quarters in, here's what it looks like. We're at 237.24. This is on the main account, by the way. We're at 12. Look, it dropped from 20% to now I'm up only 12.4% as compared to last year. It's trending in the wrong direction for us. We're at 27.3% increase in ASP, but that's even gone down a little bit, and the quantity sold is down 11.7%. Now, some of this can be offset by the fact we have a second store. We're actually selling pretty much at a clip of about the same number of items on the second store with about maybe a $15 to $20 ASP on that one. But it's helping to offset some of the losses. And you could say, well, you're up 12.4% for the year. But if you guys remember, no more than about 3 weeks ago, we were close to about 30%. So this is trending to where in the next few weeks, if things don't start turning around for sales for us on the main store, we're going to see that we're going to be behind last year. That's not where we want to be. I'm finding that normally I maintain a 200 item store, and we're at 212 items now. So my listing is outpacing the sales, which is telling me a story that the sales aren't where I want them to be at all. And so right now I think we're at 370 for the day, which I'm not going to sneeze at, but I really haven't seen a day over $600 here in the last couple weeks. So it's concerning to me. February has historically been a very good month. So, I guess I started myself. There's sales still being made out there. And, with the health stuff that I've been dealing with the last, I'd say a very good portion of the last month. That's behind me now, and I'm starting to get some steam and getting stuff done and getting more liquidation. I got 2 more pallets were recording the Profit Playbook podcast yesterday, and had 2 more pallets I was able to win during that podcast, and I'll be picking those up next week. So I am not, dealing with the shortage of inventory, but I was thinking to myself, the thought process could be, do I stop buying right now? And my thought is, well, this time of year where the liquidation is abundant. A lot of people are getting, deals on liquidation. Why not continue to buy? You guys know I have a storage unit, and my pain points have been historically, here comes October and September, and I'm running out of merchandise that's half worth listing. So I have no problem building up back stock in that storage unit so that when October, November gets here, that I can stay competitive and have stuff to list. So that's sort of the mindset that I have. Listing today, and I want to get to your comments here and stuff, but listing today, I came across something that I wanted to share with you. It's a pain point that all liquidation sellers actually have. And I want to get to that to you in a second, but she has been sitting here for the last 12 minutes like a statue. Do you have anything that you want to say?
I'm not feeling great.
What's wrong?
I all of a sudden feel very nauseous.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So if I have to jump up, just move.
Okay. So hopefully, she went and got some. She got some blood work done. So we'll see what's going on, but. She's a trooper. She's hanging here with us, and hopefully you feel better.
I'm starting to get a sweat. I'm sweating.
Well, I have that effect on people.
Oh, no. It's not that kind of effect.
Well,
literally, I'm dripping. Look at.
What's going on with you? It's that new orange cream. Any guys have drank any of this yet? I haven't tried it yet. The orange cream Coke. I'm not sure I'm a fan. But we were out shopping yesterday, and we're like, oh, let's pick some up. Let's give it a try.
No, I want to try the other one, the blackberry.
We have the blackberry Dr. Pepper.
Something.
Yeah. So I want you guys to see, this is what I deal with. And it's not, that's why, it's not easy for me to list like 50 items in a day, because I've just got so many things that I have to deal with. So check out this clip. It's about 3 minutes, but it'll give you an oversight as to one of the pain points that us liquidation buyers have to deal with. Well, when you come across liquidation and it has eBay tape on it, this is where the customer returns it. That tells you everything you need to know. That this was a reseller who bought this, and something ain't right. Something ain't right. Now, I'm trying to find out what's going on with this thing. I haven't opened it yet. Maybe this is a nothing burger, but just to let you guys know, if you guys have an Apple Watch, it likes to talk to you when you're not talking to it. Okay, so let's see. This is supposed to be a utility pump. Let's see what we get. See that it's been used. They used it on a job, right? Maybe there's some water leakage. I don't know. This is definitely used. Look how rusty that is. I don't know. This might not be worth keeping. And more rust. Got the parts that go with it. And even the book, the manual. So I guess we'll plug this thing in. Let's see what happens here. Well, that's the story. It don't work. Just plug this thing in. Normally these pumps will start going, even though you don't have them submersed in water. They get real loud until you put them in the water. Well, what happens here, you see, this is a typical swap out scenario. where they'll have the new manual, right? Obviously, they never opened that because they never needed it. They just needed the new one of these. The accessories are still in their bags. You can tell they've never been used. No water tape or anything has been applied to those threads. And they just simply buy this, swap it out, and shamelessly, they put their eBay tape on there and set it back into Amazon. That's pretty bad. So I knew something was up with this the moment I saw it, and I'm glad I was able to put it on video so you guys can see it with me. This one, thankfully, I can take this back. I've got a place that gives me 7 days to inspect everything, which is cool. But yeah, this one's your typical swap out scenario right there, guys. Typical swap out. So there you go. That is what we are dealing with. That's what we're putting up with right now. And that type of liquidation is just maddening. Thankfully, I think I had like 8 items that I took back today. And they don't ask questions. They just take it back. They know that this is part of the game. But it's frustrating nonetheless that you have people that have this mindset that they are able to send stuff back on Amazon, eBay, Target, whatever online platform, and usually they're not even looking through it. The way liquidation works is they get the return, they just send it off. And some places like Walmart, those returns are going back directly to a liquidator anyway. They're not even going back to Walmart. As soon as there's activity on the package, they're refunding. And buyers know this. They know this, and they think now they're getting an eBay return that's the same way that it works, and then they find out after they've swapped it out that it doesn't work that way. So I kind of go into more details about the whole thing on the video I'm putting out tomorrow. Of course, utilizing the same footage, but going into kind of more detail on that subject. So that's just sort of some of the pain points that flipping ain't easy is dealing with on a daily basis. So let's see. I know we have Keith with us today. Thanks for being here. eBay is starting to pick back up for me, so let's see what the weekend brings. Let's hope for a good, solid weekend. I just don't. It's sort of unsettling when you're seeing your sales numbers. You're off to a great start, and then the lack of sales is kind of shrinking it every time we get together. John Gaynor says also, hope everyone still has a job. The mindset with government and companies is to downsize. We may be in for a recession if this keeps up. Hopefully this will work out for the good. Yeah, get your seatbelts on. Like I've said all along, it's going to get worse before it gets better. How bad is it going to get before it starts getting better? I have no idea. But I've said this for a while. It's we're not there. We're not at the bottom yet. So let's kind of hope things get better. Duncan's with us, 65,000th position. I don't even have that many people watching my video, so I don't know. Now eBay, no, I've had some videos that got over 65,000. Now eBay glitch, my sold items are in my unsold list. Yeah. That's odd. How about this one? You guys listing on the app.
My
notice
sold items are in my unsold.
Yes, so the ended items. Your solds are on the ended. How about photos on the app? You guys notice that they've changed that again? So before you can go in and you're adding photos to the app onto your listing, and you can say, okay, I want this to be the first one, this one to be the second, and you can basically, until all the photos are added, they're numbered, right? Now it's not happening. At least on the version I'm seeing, it's just showing I'm selecting them, and then I hit to upload them, and it doesn't seem like anything happens initially. So it's somewhat different, and to me, I don't see how it's any better. They keep making these changes, and it doesn't seem to improve a thing. So Keith says, I have not had any glitches, but some in the UK have reported several hundred listings have disappeared from their active and nowhere to be found. eBay said it's a problem. They're on their end will be fixed in 72 hours.
Oh no,
that's not good. And we just know that we're going to continue to have glitches and plan for them. Don't be surprised by them. Brenda says, happy Friday, everyone. Luckily, my sales profit for January and February doubled in 2025. Sold more items, ASP about the same. Well, you're making more money. Just like eBay, they don't care how they do it, whether it's on the backs of the seller or not. As long as they show their shareholders some kind of a return, then they did their job. And that is sad, but that's the reality. But it has nothing. You have no shareholders. You're making it work, just like eBay's making it work for themselves. Mike Metco says, "Hi, John and Jenna and FA family. My sales haven't been great, but considering what I've heard, I'm happy that I'm making any sales at all." So what is your pulse, Mike? You've been on your channel, been talking to a lot of folks on your channel about the meetups and stuff. We have the meetup coming up here in a couple weeks. Can't wait to see you. We're probably going to do the hangout afterwards because I'm really hyper-focused on not allowing eBay to dictate my success. And so if that means I have to work harder, I'm going to get more stuff listed. If I have to turn that 200-item store into a 300-item store with the same quality items, just to kind of add more volume to that store, then I will. And I can't, if things are going swimmingly and great and wow, we're killing it, in February, which we weren't, then it would totally change my outlook on this, but it's just going the wrong direction. So that's kind of one of the reasons why. Now I'm looking forward to kind of hanging out with you and some others after you guys are done with that. But yeah, let me know what you're hearing about others that are having problems with sales. I don't like hearing bad news, but sometimes we have to be able to put things into perspective and understand that it may not be so hot, but others are really struggling too. Keith says, "Hi, Mike. Yes, eBay Auto up to its tricks again, but they did warn us that during February they're rolling out their new updates and changes."
Where did you see auto?
I said up. It's kind of together. This is what happens when you guys don't use spaces. It tricks my mind into thinking that it looked like kind of backwards auto. This is she's not feeling well, but she's feeling well enough to criticize and pick at me again.
Because you're reading something that's not even there. The word auto is not even in the sentence.
It looked in my mind for a second. I'm doing well today.
Okay.
So.
I'm going to go take some medicine.
So yeah,
Let
go
me
ahead.
be right back.
Okay. So she's going to go and do that. I apologize, guys. And Duncan got 45 INATs. That's no good. 300 crickets arrived. Well, you know what? That's the sad reality for some people. They got a lot of crickets going on. And the goal is, how do we figure out how to get those crickets to stop chirping? Flipping from the trailer says, "Hello, John and Jenna and chat. Good sales day today, but week was slow. Still dealing with a lot of returns. I've been dealing with that. So hopefully that goes away. There's... it's unsettling. You get $100 and some odd return and your sales aren't that great anyway. It's like, oh, it's just going to make the week look worse than it is." Craig Winus has made it before the start for a change. Yes, nice to see you there, Craig. We have Callie Debs with us, Joe Samard, and Silver Hair Stacker. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for being here. Rhiannon says, "Happiest Friday, J&J and FAE fam. Sales are okay, but man, what a glitch fest today." So tell me what other glitches you guys are coming across. Not so much so we can complain and gripe and bitch and moan about it, but just so that we're all aware that, this is the glitch that Rhiannon was talking about when we come across it, and it's not... Because a lot of times when you deal with glitches, it does hurt productivity. You come across the glitch, now you're dealing with it, you're trying to figure out how to navigate, what do I need to do differently to make this thing work the way I want it to work? And if we know that it's coming, or possibly that it could affect us, then it's a little easier to deal with. Ping G says, "Happy Friday, John and Jenna in the chat." Nice to see you, Ping. And we have 1900 store. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you. Marco Carpio says, "Hey, John, Jenna, and the rest of the FA fam. It's been a while. Just dropping by to say hi."
Well, hello, Marco.
Nice to see you. Henri Squaw says, "Howdy. Nice to see you, Henri Squaw." And Paul Rose, "Evening, John, Jen, and FAE cohorts. Paul, I know it's late right now. It's every bit of 11:30 p.m. in the UK right now, but I did work pretty hard on putting together something that I think you'd like for an outro. I can tell you it absolutely gave me a splitting headache doing it.
Gave
But,
me a headache. And I wasn't even in the
as
room.
a one-time thing, I made this for Paul Rose, and you need to stick around to the end of the show, and you'll get to hear it. We like to change up the outros from time to time. It is not going to be a regular part of the show, so just letting you guys know this is a one-time only kind of thing, and we're doing it for Paul. You need gifts, goods, and books. Hey, FA fam and John and Jenna, it's been a while. I miss you guys. Hope you're well, and it's great to be able to join a live again. Well, we're wondering where you were at. I hope all is well with you and everything's good. Just trying to see where we're at here. We're at about 108 people watching right now, so that's pretty good. Nice to see you. I've been talking to some people. A lot of people have been dropping off. A lot of views have been falling off on other channels. Live stream views have been falling off, and at first I thought, man, I must really just am boring now to watch. It must not be very interesting to watch anymore. But I just think a lot of people are falling off, and they're not. You're not doing it anymore. You're not reselling. You're maybe back to a 9 to 5. You've hung up reselling, and if you're not doing something, you're not going to be interested in watching it. It's like.
Maybe they've gone and gotten a 9 to 5 job. Maybe they are tasting Coca-Cola flavors. Maybe they're staring at some lady who needs to have her roots done. Maybe they're just not into YouTube like they used to be.
Well, it could be that, but I think can you think of one thing that you enjoy doing that's not reselling related that you maybe watch videos on that if you weren't involved in that, like for instance, like bowling. I bowl, right? But I am more interested now in a video that'll pop up my feed about bowling than I was, say, a year ago when I was semi-retired from it, right? I was just done with it because of my injuries. Duncan says the team has checked with this, and we've got a few samples of the same issue examples of the same issue from other sellers as well. And looking at it, it appears to be a technical issue that you encountered. So did you get the sales or not? So if you find those that are in your ended, it's sort of like if you're cross-listing. And by the way, if you're not cross-listing, it's another way to get your items in front of other people who refuse to use eBay. Check out the link below for TreeCat. And they can get you all set up to where if you sell an item on another platform like Poshmark, it'll go out of your active items on eBay, and that way you're not double selling. Now, when that happens, those items, like if we sell an item on Poshmark, it'll show as an ended item on eBay, and it seems like that's the kind of behavior that you're dealing with. Duncan says they tell me to wait for an email. Good luck. I stopped waiting for eBay emails. I just don't. I don't wait for them anymore. They either happen or they don't. But usually, if they don't happen within the first hour or two after you talk to somebody, it ain't coming. Duncan, in the meantime, all my solds are going unsold. So is it a sell or not? So when you're looking at your transactions, see if I can navigate to that so I can maybe try to provide some help here. So when you navigate over to your payments and your transactions here, you click on that drop down menu. That's a horrible sales number. Are you seeing that you're making sales? Like this is a coffee grinder we sold today. Are you seeing that you're getting that for those sales that match? So check out your transactions and see if you're getting anything there.
Ooh, that's a terrible number.
Yeah, that's a terrible number. But hopefully, we've hit the like button. We'll get the sale here in the next 24 hours to make that number change. Hopefully, you guys have hit the like button as well and get your sale in the next 24 hours. Let's see. Paul Rose says, actually, a little bit this afternoon, not counting my chickens yet, but hopefully on the mend. So hopefully you're feeling better.
Good.
We've got Josh Galt with us, just driving the kiddo to baseball. Wanted to stop by and say hi.
Good luck, Henry.
Yeah. I'd love to, maybe you could take a video of Henry playing. I'd love to see him playing.
I know. None of our kids are old enough. to.
Yeah, I remember when we had
Jonathan in baseball.
Tyler never wanted to play.
No.
I think he knew that I would be out there coaching him, and he didn't want to deal with me. But I always told my son I thought he had. I guess maybe it was a little biased, but he had enough talent. I think if he really pursued it, that he could have really done well. But what happens is when you're a teenager, you rather hang out with your friends. This is what happened to me back in the day. I was playing baseball. I was pretty good at baseball. And in high school, I was a sophomore. We only had 10th, 11th, and 12th grade in this particular high school. And I was a sophomore trying out for the varsity team, and I made the cut twice. And there's 5 outfielders that were there for 4 jobs. And I had been told you are required to show up for Memorial Day for batting practice as the last part of the tryout. And friends were doing all kinds of things that weekend, and guess what? The friends won. And I said, I'll just play city ball. And that was the end of that. So, never know.
So you did it yourself.
Here we are. Gail Carlson says, hey, everyone, just jumping in to say hi, and we'll watch later.
Hello, Gail.
Nice to see you. And in case you watch later, you can hear the noise we play for you. Semper Fi says, in the house overall, up 8% in more sales, however, slow than a bunch sold. So you're getting streaky sales.
Riding the roller coaster.
We got a couple Veros over the last 2 months from the same company. Delta Faucets, they don't like... See, this is the thing. My strategy is this. I know that I'm up against drop shippers and people who could give a rat's about us. They're just, they're selling up their 5 to 10% margins. They have nothing but stock photos because they don't have the listing or the item in hand. But that's going on all the while. I buy a shower set where it has the shower head, the lever, and all that stuff. And I just have a box of parts, essentially. And many times they're brand new condition. Well, for them to expect me to set it up in my bathroom and take photos of it is not realistic. What am I going to do to show my buyer? No retail site sells things where they can't show their buyer what the end result looks like. But eBay somehow expects us as sellers to do that. So I do utilize stock photos on a lot of the items to show them what, once this is set up, what it's going to look like in their bathroom. And guess what? They hit me in January, and I didn't even think about it because I sell all kinds of different brands, and they hit me again for a different one this month. And they said, well, since we've told you, just know that, you can't do it. They didn't, suspend me or anything. I now know that particular company, I either don't buy or just have to show the parts. But what happens is they show, and one of them sold, and I took out the stock photos, but I left in my own, and they still think I left the stock photos in there. So they hit me with another Vero after the thing sold. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well, how do I remove it? Because usually in the app, you can go in and swipe left when you see that notification on that listing, and it'll remove it. Whereas you can't do that on the PC. It's the only way I found that you can remove that. So I went in, and the only button I had was on the PC to dispute it. And it was like a scathing thing that they sent back saying, no, we didn't do this. And, if you're suspended, you're going to have to just pretty much deal with it. And I'm like, well, I'm not suspended, but my sales suck. I'm wondering if this has anything to do with that. But, hey, there again, just me trying to figure things out that maybe aren't there. Big Dre says, well, Trump said Zelensky could cause World War III so that it'll put a freeze on purchases, especially the prepper type of shoppers. Who knows? That's a hot mess. That was some popcorn drama if you've ever seen it before. I don't want to get into it because that's not what this show is about. So please, let's not talk about that. But yeah, things are very, very interested right now. Big Dre says he thinks that prepper gear sales should rise. Let's hope that things get better. Keith says, Jenna, go and get some rest. We hope you feel soon.
Feel better soon.
I thought I said that.
You said feel soon.
Feel soon better.
I mean, they heard it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know what makes her feel better?
Thank you, Keith.
What makes her feel better is me making mistakes. Her correcting me. It makes her feel great inside.
It's exhausting, actually.
And you feel better.
No.
Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. I mean, if eating ice cream made me just sick to my stomach, I wouldn't do it, right? But it doesn't, so I do it. Marco says, feel better, Jenna.
Thank you, Marco.
Paul Rose
Thank
says,
you,
sorry
Keith.
to hear that, Jenna. If
Thank
it
you,
comes
Paul.
on quick, grab John's hat.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. I need my hat for the outro, though.
No.
I got to have my hat on for the outro.
No.
Mike G says, good evening. Sales kind of blah Monday through Thursday. Traffic dropped some this month. Listing quality report dropped 1 rank, dropped 21st to 18.5 year over year. Yoy. So things are kind of slowing a little bit. But now we're talking about the listing quality report. That's comparing you to your peers. So obviously, some of your peers are not experiencing that if you're dropping in relation to them. Keith saying if you need to jump off, we understand. Brenda Smith says family and I not a fan of the orange cream Coke.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm kind of
I don't like it.
pushing my way through it.
I have mine too, and it's really not good.
We tried the strawberry Dr. Pepper.
The strawberry cream.
That was different, right?
I didn't like that one.
I'm having the same thoughts about this and maybe the blackberry Dr. Pepper.
No, I want to try that one. I hope it's not
Mike's
bad.
wanting you to go lay down. This is what happens. She tells me she's not feeling well. That's the first thing I tell her. Go lay down, Jenna.
No, it's GLD.
Craig says, Jenna, check your blood sugar. If you can, it might be low. If you can't, then try drinking some orange cream Coca-Cola.
No.
Okay, and see if
and
that
got
makes
the
you feel
orange
better.
juice.
Oh, okay.
I've never had a problem with my blood sugar, but then again, like he just said, I just went and got my blood drawn, and they took 8 vials of blood. So they took a lot, and they're doing a lot of testing. I have 3 pages of lists of things for them to test. So it quite possibly could be. I mean, I haven't ever had a problem, but that doesn't mean I don't have one now. So hopefully that's not it, but I took your recommendation and hopefully it will help.
So Desi Rebecca Flippin says, did you see that eBay is having an electronic sale? We had something sell before we realized and could not bump up the price. But normally when eBay has those sales where they advertise on the homepage, you have to opt in to say, hey, we're willing to participate in this sale. I'm wondering if it could be that you may have put out an offer or maybe received an offer on that item and it won't let you change the price at all for like 48 hours until their offer expires. Paul Rose says, all joking aside, Jenna, you look great as always, but if you need to go lay down, get some rest, you can do it.
Thank you, Paul.
You can do it!
1900 Store says, Jenna, make a honey with lemon tea. It'll help with sugar stabilization. It'll make you feel better.
Oh, thank you, Bear.
Craig's typing faster than his laptop can handle. Or his host can handle, because see, you guys type so fast. Andy Reno says, just in time. And we got John Crum says, hi everyone. Nice to see you, John.
Hello,
Thanks for
John.
being here. We love seeing new faces. Flip It Good says, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
And then Hilton Page says, scumbags, can't believe people swap out your pieces.
Yeah, people are just...
Well, just so you just to be clear, that isn't a return I received. That's what we bought liquidation items, unwrapped it, and here's the first thing I see is an eBay strip of eBay tape. It's like, okay, it's time to break out the camera because I know what this is going to be. Nikitana says, yay, made it to the live. Hi guys,
Yay,
nice to see you.
Hello, it's so nice to see you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Paul Rose says, I just couldn't do a swap out, John. I'd hate myself, bad people. It's not good karma. Not good karma at all. No. Susan says, hope everyone is doing well. Hey, John and Jenna.
Hello, Susan.
John Crum says, only sell good when I list items. Yes, I think there is something to it. eBay will swear up and down that, no, you don't have to list every day. Well, maybe not every day, but you need to list most days. I'm really convinced of that. Really got out there this morning and was just hammering it. Went out and picked up more liquidation and have that in the back of my SUV right now. And I'm just fired up to get these things listed. But my sales are better today than they have been the last couple, which is good. My best day being Monday, so we'll see. Truth Seeker by design, all by design. You think that it's all by design with the slow sales, or the way eBay is working it to where they're just squeezing us? We are the turnips. They're squeezing us as much as that they can, and they're hoping to eke out some kind of positive profit for their shareholders. I'm thinking there's something to that, but you would think that they would want to improve the site to where it's fully functional and working great, no lulls in action, the items being seen or whatever. I still believe there's a little bit of that going on, and fix that first. I think your shareholders would want that as well, but I'm not sure they're reporting that to the shareholders. Susan says, I've sold at least 5 to 6 a day for the last few days, but I have also been posting more than that a day. And I think there's something to that. You list more, maybe you get more love from eBay. Like for instance, when you send out offers, people have noticed this as well. You send out offers to watchers, or you're doing a back and forth with offers, best offers with the buyer. You're getting more exposure on that item in the meantime. Peter says, yes, so confusing now with photos. Why fix what's not broken? I like what they had before, because you're not always taking the photo in the order you plan on using it. You might, the third photo might be the best looking photo, and you might want that as the main photo. But now it just uploads all the photos, and then you got to go in and drag the photo into the proper spot. And that's not, if you're doing in volume, that's not gonna do anything but slow you down. Susan says, keywords are big. When Travis Kelce came out with the brooch on my brooches started selling. Oh, that gold,
really?
That gold brooch thing that he walked into the Super Bowl with. He had the gold like rose or something.
I don't like the guy, so I don't know. I didn't.
He'll be back next year. He's not retiring. Duncan says, yeah, they changed the photo upload again. Yeah, it would be nice though. They could come out and say, look guys, heads up, in 2 hours we're going to be changing the photos, and here's what we think is going to, just it's too much. It's a perfect world thing that you'd expect one person to post something maybe on eBay's X account or Instagram account saying we're going to be doing this here today, and here's why. Rhiannon says, yes, the photos are a mess on PC. Photos show up very small for a lot of people. If they use the app to upload, can only check it on desktop.
Rhiannon.
Susan says, I have a brooch just like it, so I use my keywords as seen on Travis Kelce's Swifty brooch Super Bowl. Raise the price, we'll see. Yes, ASO really sells. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, you find common things that is part of pop culture, and that will help sell things as well.
That's true.
Grams and Pop says, I think
Grams.
Yeah.
Hi.
I think the missing items are multi-quantity. It is showing one item instead of the total multi in the item count. So if you have 10 multi for an item, it's only counting 1 instead of 10.
Oh.
Let's see. Andre Squaw says, sales have outright stopped over here.
Oh, no.
And then we got James with us. Hello, Moon Chat added with Wiggles. Nice to see you. You've kind of got me this week on a couple of your videos. Like the one says, stay away from this reseller. And like, all right, I'm interested to see what he has to say. And you never like call anyone out. So I'm like, okay, it was a 45-minute video. So I'm hoping.
No, I love his TikTok videos because it's of his dogs, and I love his doggies.
All in a Day's Review says, good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see you.
Good afternoon.
Grams and Pop says, our sales have been steady. Had an $1,800 day last Saturday.
Nice.
Love that.
That is amazing.
Tactical Z's with us. Thanks for being here, Tactical
Hello.
Z. James says, Paul Rose, wait for the popping video coming soon. And maybe, James, you'll enjoy
We're talking about that.
I know. Oh, the zit on his cheek.
What?
That's a big zit on the
Who has
left
a
cheek.
zit on a cheek?
I thought you stopped getting zits when you're like
No,
in high
you
school.
don't ever stop. It's the weirdest thing. You think that you're at an age where the acne just stops. It doesn't.
Well, hopefully, I know you like rock and roll, so heavy metal. So hopefully you and Paul can hang out and watch to the end and let me know what you think about the outro. It gave me a headache.
That's probably why I feel so sick.
Really? You weren't even in here.
It was a joke.
All in Days Review. How many listings do you all try and keep going? See, for me, I'm different. I'm looking at a dollar value. So can I get $1,000 in my store? So, maybe one item. Of course, I'll try to list more than that. I mean, it's how much inventory can you get through during the time you have allotted to do that work. For someone like James, a good day is 200, 250 items, right? And then it all kind of adds up through volume. But for me, I might take a little extra time with a $500 item, and make sure everything's where it needs to be. Take a little bit more time cleaning it and making good photos. So everyone's a little bit different, but and I think that's where a lot of resellers get tripped up. In the past, a lot of sellers would say, "Oh, I'm listing 100 items in a day, and I need to try to get up to 150." And I think that makes people feel like they can't do it when they're only doing 20. And it could be like me, if you're doing with liquidation, there's no way possible I can sell 200 items in a day with liquidation. Now with patches, yeah, that's possible because it's a quick routine. You don't have to do all the steps that I have to do. So try to focus on dollar amount. In fact, eBay will give you, on your active page, will give you a dollar amount. So we have on the main 212 items listed and $17,716 in value within those. And then within those listings is 300 items. So I have some multi-quantity listings. So that boils down to a pretty high ASP number. And that's sort of why, we're pretty high with our ASP. Now, on the other account, I don't care. If it's, $7 or higher, it's going up and, we're just going to list through volume that way. And it does supplement things. Henri Squaw says, I accepted an offer yesterday and it never went through. So maybe they had a problem with their credit card or something like that. Mike Seller says, greetings. Nice to see you, Mike. And Ranger. What?
How's Ranger doing? I want to know how Ranger's
What's
doing.
wrong with Ranger?
He was at the vet. Don't you remember?
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
DH.
I hope he's doing good.
DH, nice to see you, DH. Are you doing promoted listings on everything and what percentages? So, for my own beliefs and thoughts, and I guess the sales kind of speak for themselves, I have more sales than I do in number of items listed through this method. But I usually will do anywhere between 6 and 10, and 10.1 as being the max. And maybe the longevity of the item, how long the item has been listed, will determine, like when I do the end item sell similar after 30 days, I'll bump it up to the next level, maybe 8.1%. Then I'll go to 10.1%. The reason is on everything, because eBay, if you're saying, this item's too good to promote, and you may just sell it just fine in a few days. I'm a firm believer that if you have any promoted amount there, that it increases your chances of eBay showing it in someone else's listing, a non-search listing, or at the end of when they're done buying the item and maybe they think it kind of matches the search of what they're looking for, they'll show that item also at the checkout page. So all these non-search promotions or non-search impressions is kind of what I'm fishing for by promoting everything. Susan says, I work a full-time job and there are cliches. What is that? Glitches?
I think it's supposed to be glitches.
Glitches and roadblocks throughout the day. Just a day in the life of all of us. Yes.
Yes.
And you just got to accept it. If you allow it to ruin your day, if you allow it to, say, you know what, I'm done. Because that's the worst thing you can do is you come across the glitch and you just throw everything down and say, you know what, I'm going to try tomorrow. Well, you just wasted all that time.
That's what I did with the insurance.
Yeah, but you got to then start up again and then hope that the same glitch isn't happening next time. You got to find a way to power through it. And it is a mindset. You have to develop this mindset where it's part of the deal, and it's just a good day when I don't encounter a glitch. Mike Metko, while I'm in Vegas, I'm going to take a survey asking everyone how sales are and capture on video. When I do my wrap-up video after Boss, I'll tabulate the results and report it on my channel.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's awesome. Paul Rose says, I hope it's Disturbed.
I think he's talking about the song.
Oh, the song?
That's art or a group.
Oh, okay.
Disturbed.
Jovial says, hey, FA fam, happy National Chocolate Souffle Day.
Ooh. I don't know why, but it's so weird. Like, we went to the grocery store last night. Nothing sounds good to me. He kept asking me, like, hey, do you want to buy this? Do you want to make this? And I'm just like, ugh.
Yet she kept throwing things in the cart. I tell you this, I can save about 25% on my grocery bill when I go by myself.
I didn't hardly throw anything in the cart except for a couple of the necessities that I require on a weekly basis.
What do you require? Biscuit Butt says, hey, FA gang, nice to see you.
Bee booty.
Archie is doing the district thing with the live selling. I think he's addicted to that now.
Is he doing another one tonight?
I don't know. I haven't heard.
Hey, Arch, are you doing another one tonight?
Susan Phelps says, hit a like button and get a sale within 24 hours. Yes.
That's right.
Paul says, haha, bless you, John. Sorry to you and Jenna for the headaches. That doesn't bode well. Don't blame me, FA gang, if it sucks. LOL. Well,
it was definitely not my preference.
I gotta tell you, AI music is the strangest thing. It can come out with some really good sounding stuff, and then all of a sudden, it's like, what the hell?
Takes a turn.
No, it makes... there's one song I made, the intro to this song, right? I had to cut it. It sounded pretty decent for those who like R&B vibe. But it, like, halfway through the song, it's had good melodies, but it was making up its own words.
Makes up its own
It wasn't even English. And I'm like, I'm rocking out to it. I'm like, what the hell did he just say? And he said it again. And I'm like, well, that would have been a good outro, but I can't use it as an outro, so I have to chop it up. But the one that I'm going to play here at the end of the live here, at the very end, it sounded like, it was almost like it was a Ukrainian rock group where a bunch of bombs started going off, like explosions and stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of disruptive. This isn't the rock music that I used to listen to back in the 80s with my cousin. It certainly isn't that. Let's see. Sense of humor. Maybe we're on vacation for life.
I wish.
Then we wouldn't
If I could just get one vacation, that would be nice.
You know what? You don't want a vacation for life. Well, you get people that are retired that have absolutely nothing to look forward to. You're just waking up whenever and going to bed whenever. And that's when I notice a lot of retirees, their health kind of just falls apart when they retire. So they usually end up going back to some kind of a job like a Walmart greeter or something. Having something that you are responsible for daily, that you need to do every day, is, I think, very healthy. Susan, it is not that it is boring. It is just over an hour is a lot. Shorter videos are great. We have gotten used to short videos on a lot of channels.
Yeah, I think it also is it's the whole TikTok vibe. You know, people only have an attention span of, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. And then people want to move on. They like to just...
Yeah. I've been accused of being very long-winded. I mean, I don't know where that comes from. But, you know, that's... People tune in to these videos because they want to hear what you have to say, right?
Mr. Yippity.
But I've got a lot to say. And I try to keep the videos, though, under 20 minutes if I can. But But now, like James, he's just throwing the video on and he's going to work. And he's talking and, between the tasks and stuff. A lot of times when he's shipping, and maybe we should do that for you. Maybe we should have the camera on you while you're shipping and you're just talking away.
Probably not appropriate.
Maybe it'll be interesting. People might want to see a cursing shipper.
Duncan, is your wife home now? Is she safely arrived? I hope she is.
Craig says, I think viewers are dropping off because there's too many negative videos or nothing helpful videos and they're getting burnt out.
That could be true.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, for me, I can say that if I'm trying to be more productive, the first thing that I consider is turn off the YouTube, throw on some music, and get to work, right? And so maybe people are like, I need to do better, I need to do more, and YouTube is kind of taking my attention away. Let's see. Aww. Jovial says, love that. Got color on you.
Thank you, Rhonda. This is one of my favorite colors.
You want you need says goods and books. Says glitch. eBay was allowing buyers from places I don't ship to buy from me, but I can't invoice them, so I have to ask them to cancel the order to avoid a defect. They get a defect if they don't pay. Now, you don't actually have to ask them to cancel. You can go into...
even though they can't actually pay.
Yeah, even though they can't actually pay. But you can go into cancel the order and just put address as the problem. And again, you have hopefully a message that you've sent to your buyer that says, hey, thank you for your order, but we don't ship to your country. We're going to go in and cancel the sale because of it. So that's all in the up and up, and that's how I would do it, and I wouldn't wait for the buyer. James says, I hit the like button and heard a farting noise. I swear it was not me. Well, you're the only one in the room.
You could blame it on the dogs.
Yeah. So, but they could say, like, if you're in the forest, the tree falls in the forest, and you're alone, did it really happen? Did it really happen? Rhiannon's, the eBay community board tech issues is flooded today with missing listings, photo issues. Just keep doing our best and working. We can't change what we can't control, right?
This is so true.
And if we allow ourselves to go down the path of, well, I've got to know why. I mean, it should be just enough that it's happening, right? Now, we would want eBay to let us know, hey, this is going to be happening and here's what we're hoping to accomplish. We're hoping for that kind of communication. We're going to keep hoping, but it's never going to happen. But instead of, playing private investigator to make ourselves feel better as to the why, just know what's happening and spend that time getting your stuff listed. It always used to drive me crazy. We worked at the railroad when people would call in and they're like, okay, I'm waiting for train 5. Can you tell me when train 5 is going to be running through Denver? Oh, well, train 5 is an hour late. Sorry, they're an hour late right now. So show up to the station about 45 minutes later than you normally would. And they would ask why. And they would not get off the phone until you were able to tell them why. And I don't know, I just never could figure out how that could make someone feel better.
Or the times where, yes, it's running 7 hours late, but you want to know why? Is because they hit a tractor trailer and there's now deceased people on the tracks. And so we have to clean that up now.
Yep. And then they're mad. They want compensation.
Yes.
It's like, well, we didn't cause this.
We didn't do it. The person, they are the ones that parked on the tracks.
Swamp Picker says, hey, John and Jenna. Nice to see you, Swamp Picker.
Hello.
1900 Store says, I hit the like, hopefully. Yes, hit that like. You Want You Need says, I took a... Paul hit the like and it laughed at him. You Want You Need says, I took a week of self-care. I didn't list. I doubled my impressions and got more sales. As soon as I started listing again, my impressions went down along with the sales. I'm still going to list again.
Yeah, sometimes you do have to take that time for yourself.
And sometimes, you know what? If you hit a rut in your store where it's like, I'm doing everything I've been doing before and sales are just not there, it's time to go in and hit that nuclear reset. And I know for someone like James, it's just not possible. It just wouldn't be possible with all those listings. But if you have a decent sized store or smaller, maybe consider just wiping it all out, sending them all to ended, and schedule them for new listings, and just starting over. Will take you probably 30, 45 minutes depending on the store. Sometimes only 5 or 10 minutes to do. End items sell similar, and I'll tell you that it's taken me from places like, why I'm not getting any sales at all, to wow, it actually does work. So if you tried everything and are kind of tired of waiting, that's something to consider. Swamp Picker did hit the thumbs up, and Jules Y75, happy Friday, y'all. Nice to see you. James says, yes, stock photos are a no-no, something I won't do on any brand. Yeah. Jules Y75, I got a Vero from Marlboro advertisement piece we had in our gas station that was given to us by my Philip Morris rep for Marlboro. I didn't fight it. Said it was counterfeit. Yeah,
they use that excuse for everything because they don't have anything else. They just don't want you selling it.
Sense of humor, just add an overlay photo with your name. Now, eBay doesn't want you doing that. See, they come out and say, as far as stock photos are concerned, they don't prohibit.
Look at their dog. I love your dog.
They don't prohibit you from using stock photos. They shun on you using stock photos for used items. So they've changed their stance on that over the years. But as far as an overlay or some type of writing in the photo, they actually say they don't want you. You should be discouraged from doing that. But I know I do see people who do that because they don't want other people using their photos. For me, that's just extra work. And if someone's willing to use my photo, they're willing to take an INAD because it's not going to be the item that they're going to get. Mm-hmm. Paul says, yeah, stock photos are not allowed. If new box look for similar example photos, at best doctor stock photos, if you must, like remove backgrounds, that type of thing too. Now I don't know if it's any different with UK, how the wording is in the policy there. If you are, and here is the policy. When you create a listing or product, you must include at least one photo that is 500 pixels, blah, blah, blah. We know because it won't load if you don't. What's the policy? The following are allowed. Photos that don't accurately represent the item, placeholder images used to convey messages like the one we were talking about just now. Stock photos for used, damaged, or defective items. So they used to shun stock photos altogether, but now it's for used, damaged, and defective items.
No, it says not allowed.
Yes, they're not allowed.
Oh.
You cannot use stock photos for used, damaged, or defective items. Mm-hmm. And then photos with added borders, photos with added text, artwork, or marketing material. I wonder if the use of AI backgrounds is a no-no, because they say not to do it. And then watermarks of any type, including those used for ownership attributions. Now, the reason why I say I wonder if what their real stance on AI is, they already offer a tool that allows backgrounds to be created. From what I understand, I think we tried it and I didn't like it. Heavy Chevy guy, I love the subtle bickering. That's how we roll.
It's an everyday, all day, 24/7, 365.
Even at the grocery store. Sense of humor. I've started prepping already. Tea is crazy. We'll see what happens in the world. Paul Rose, and mention in the description which photos they are and that they are for illustration purposes only. Mm-hmm. Disclaimers are always good, that's for sure. Silver Hair says sales are down 10% for the same period in 2024. Not horrible, but I want to be Reach.
I want to be Reach.
Well,
I want to be Reach.
I think you go on enough cruises as it is, and the reality is reselling is not going to make you Reach. No. Paul Rose says, damn Jenna, I don't suck at that much when I'm out at night. Ha ha ha. Desi says it was a newly posted item.
Yeah.
Jules Y75 says, sorry you feel bad. Have you heard from your son yet? Hope you feel better. Well, that didn't make her feel better.
No. I have not heard from Tyler yet, and
weren't you supposed to receive a call saying This is Tyler and I'm here in South Carolina.
Private Tyler Martin, and have made it safely in South Carolina, and I have not received that phone call yet. But the more I went on to Facebook and found Fort Jackson's actual page, and there was a lot of helpful information on there. So what I'm thinking might happen is I might get a call on a Sunday. Sundays seem to be the days that they are given their phone. You know, obviously they have to have good behavior, blah, blah, blah. But for this part of what he's doing, it's called arms training. And so he's actually not in boot camp yet. And so he's not in that stage yet. So it's kind of weird, and it's kind of hard to get information because a lot of the information I come across is for boot camp only. And so I'm kind of piecing a little bit of information from the little bit that I found about the arms training. But they said, I mean, he will get to call. It's just a matter of time. And they say he could be in reception still, which means they actually haven't done anything with him yet, that he's there, but that, like, the moving forward of this stage is not, it hasn't started yet. So I don't know. I looked for his location went from being at the airport where his phone was with the last time I got to talk to him, and then now it's completely black. And so I don't know if his phone's dead or what, but I miss him so badly, and I desperately want him to call, but I know that he's fine and nothing bad's gonna happen to him, and it's nothing I can control, even though I want to so badly. I have to let him go.
Keith says, I buy pallets just like you, John, and yes, I see more and more swap outs in the pallets than we used to get. Mm-hmm. It's a thing that's been ongoing for a long time, but it is worse than it ever has been. And so that's, I did buy 2 pallets that I'm going to be picking up. I just can count on that happening with a bunch of the stuff I'm getting. Let's see what happens with that. You Want You Need says, for Jenna, 2 to 3 liters of water, boil 2 lemons at 1/8, fresh ginger cut into dollar size, 10 pieces, 2 orange peels, cinnamon stick, manuka honey, 2 bags of green tea at the end, and strain. 1 cup equals cured. That's a lot of work, though.
It's not really. I screenshotted that, so I'm gonna try that. I gotta get some of those things.
Susan says, John, just slow down. Jenna is just trying to help you. That is what us girls are for.
It's really all it is.
Am I going too fast?
You try to read fast, and therefore it causes you to mess up everything.
Yeah. Well, I know I've got a lot of comments to get to. It is my goal on every live stream that we read. If you take the time to type it, I would like to think, if you're talking to someone else, I'll skip it. I would like to think that it's, on the host to at least acknowledge it. Like this here. I mean, Todd's not talking to me, so I'm not going to read it. Chastity says, I feel like Todd got 3 cha-chings since the show started.
Nice, Chastity!
Go. That's awesome. However, my active listing count is off by 70, 80 listings. I know I didn't sell that much today. Well, then start looking at your ended items. Maybe it's time, we talk about this every so often, that you should be doing like every 6 months some type of a inventory check. You'd be surprised how many items you have sitting in your shelf or in your bins or wherever you keep your stuff that at one time was listed, and now due to, we talk about glitches all the time, a glitch has wiped out your listing, and that's an item that's taking up space and is never going to be sold. Now, I wonder, like someone like James, how does he even deal with that? I'm sure that he's got, like, I'll throw a number out there, maybe 10% of his inventory that's just not in no man's land is not going to get sold because it's just sitting there. Artkin says they can't. Too many different servers. Updates don't hit everyone at the same time. Mm-hmm. And they know this. It's not a secret. So eBay can share that with us. You know, hey, here's some inside baseball. Now, we're not going to tell you every little thing, but just know that there are technical issues that do affect different sellers differently, and could cause some items to not be shown 24/7. Basket Noodle says, greetings all. Nice to see you, Basket Noodle.
B-Nudes.
Where
we
were
were
you
talking
earlier?
to you earlier,
Yeah.
and you weren't here yet.
You know, we were trying to break down what the hell, you know, is going on with the Q4 report with eBay. You weren't here to help me through it. Susan says, I have low blood sugar. When it drops, I kind of feel disoriented and a little nausea. Mine low sugar is called hypoglycemia.
That's exactly what I was feeling like.
Jules says, Jenna, we think alike, and I don't like him either. I would make me not buy it with his name associated
That's exactly what I would do. Because his name is attached to it, I wouldn't buy it.
900 Store says, I'm moving all my listings to eBay. I'm done with Etsy. $300 total on February, and the funds are on hold.
Oh.
James says, stay away from me. I'm the reseller. LOL. Susan says, when sugar gets low, I eat things like peanut butter, crackers, and bananas.
We don't have any crackers or bananas.
You didn't grab them.
All
the things you threw in the cart last night.
I bought some, I like those, what are they called?
Those little orange things?
The mandarin, the real small ones, the easy to peel ones.
I know what you're talking. The name escapes me. It's a little
cuties.
Orange. Okay, whatever.
The cuties.
And she only wants them because they're cute.
No, that's...
Because she would just buy an orange if it weren't for those.
No, I like those because they're easy to peel.
So far, I list 70 items on eBay, 250 more to go.
Nice! Good job!
Paul Rose says, James, you got me a few times with the clickbait thumbnails when you started, but you talked about doing it in one. LOL. Keith says, I don't care for the amount of listings or the money value added as long as I get listings done each day. I mean, if you just have a pile of stuff and look, I'm not going to look up every item to see what it is and say, okay, here's my calculator. Okay, boom, I've got to 1,000. I can stop now. It's just you have inventory and you go in and you process as much of it as you can and within a time frame, because there's other things you have to do at the business. And make sure everything else gets done. I don't stop if I'm at a certain amount, and I don't beat myself up when I don't hit a certain dollar amount either. Duncan says, so eBay said wait and see if the buyers pay and wait for their email. Useless help.
Yeah.
Look, phone reps are in sort of a bad spot. The companies that they work for don't give them the answer. They'll give them the resources, but if they can't find the answer, they kind of feel obligated to tell you something. And a lot of times, I could tell you from reps that worked in the transportation industry, they will give you an okey doke answer that sounds good, knowing that you don't know. That's why you're calling. Sounds good, but it may not be the truth. It could be the truth. It's likely to be the truth, but it may not be the truth. And then they call back and they find out something else that's caused this problem. Now they're pissed off because they were lied to. So chances are it was one of those answers to get you off the phone. And I don't know why they do that. Reps are paid by the hour. They're not paid by the phone call. So it's like, just do the best job you can.
Well, that's just like where we were. They didn't care. They want the phone call to be, 1 minute if at all possible.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to rush the answer. It's just corporate and all the uppers. They want you to be, here's the answer, get on to the next call.
Yeah, and they have no problem, using the hold button at all. They will make you listen to that wonderful hold music that we all love. And it's absolutely annoying, but we listen to it and we wait patiently, and yet we still can't get the answer half the time. James Helferstay, it's too much work. I have time to have fun with them now. Baskin says, I do what I do listing. It is what it is. I get done what I do. No need to count it. Biff Buffalo, forgot it was Friday and missed the eBay monologue. Usually I'm rooting for poor performances so that there's a shakeup, but they always find a way to spin the data anyway. Yes, because look, if Jamie comes out and says, "Oh, we lost our revenue goal. We missed it by 2%, 3%." Now the shareholders are getting concerned. You know why? Because the shareholders aren't getting dividends. Shareholders seeing value in the stock fall, and now they're considering selling off their stock, which devaluates eBay. And now the board is looking at making some changes, and as long as they can keep themselves looking good, the rest of it doesn't matter. And I hate to say it, but I do know the corporate world, at least where we came from, and it's no different from company to company. The culture is the same. Duncan says in 2025, immediate payment seems to be a hit and miss. Well, you know, if someone has their card loaded from, let's say, last week's transaction, and maybe they don't have the money on their card, it's going to decline it. Now it's, you know, up to the buyer to complete the transaction or not. That happens a lot. 1900 store is talking to someone else, so I'll skip that one. Mike G says, I see my total live active listing money is off by a couple thousand. I've seen this before at the end of the month. And of course, I'm not going to go through and you know, calculate that number. I'm just going to hope that eBay has their ducks in a row when it comes to that. Basket Noodle says, if it's adopted, it's sure to take place for third-party sellers in the USA. There's not going to be two sets of merchant account rules or mail order. Well, we're glad you're here with us. 1900 store says, thanks for joining us. 1900 store says, happy salsa sauce on everything. Yesterday, I bought a 1 kilogram bottle of one just because of you, John.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny you mentioned that, because when we were at the store last night, he's like, hey, I got a coupon for the salsa.
Gotta save the money.
We stood there for at least 2 or 3 minutes trying to decide.
I'm like, it's the La Victoria. They've got like 20 different kinds. Choose which one you want. I don't care. Super chunky, I don't want the super chunky. Don't want the cilantro, don't have the cilantro.
I like the cilantro.
You want the mild, you want the medium.
No, I like the medium.
Just pick what you want.
I like the medium, but I don't like it super chunky.
Duncan VR says, I can save 75% of shopping if I go by myself shopping. Just need the ice cream. Wife's back home now and back in charge of shopping.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we got the ice cream. We got 2 ice creams we can get. You know, like, you want the chocolate peanut butter, or do you like looking at it like, oh, I'll take the mint and chip. Last time I bought mint and chip, it sat there. She didn't need it.
I didn't even know it was there.
Baskin Noodle says, my lady's been shopping at Macy's and Kohl's. Kohl's is closing stores too. Are they?
Are they really?
Oh,
I didn't hear that.
Susan says, what you list, it also has to do if you're a full-time or part-time seller. I have a full-time job, so I strive now for 5 to 10. If not, I will update listings, send offers, or update photos.
Yeah.
Do the best you can.
That's perfect. I mean, you're doing for running a part-time store and working a full-time job. That's you're doing what you need to do.
I mean, we sold part-time for the longest time, and there's days that I just couldn't get listings. I worked after work. I worked on the account, but it's nowhere near the kind of effort that I'm putting in as a full-timer. So you're going to see different outcomes because of it. Duncan says, I still can't afford the FAE membership. I'm on eBay income. It's $2.99. Now, as it translates to Australia, it might be like $4.
Maybe something. No KFC.
Yes.
5 nights a week.
How much is KFC?
Drop it down to 2.
And do they have like the kangaroo nuggets?
What?
Andy Reno says, a bunch of bombs going off and sirens at the start is usually one of the Disturbed songs. No, this is at the end. So the song, I mean, for a rock song, you guys will hear it at the end of this. It sounded rockish and pretty good, and it started. And what the thing with AI is, they have a hard time ending the song properly. And like sometimes they think
cuts off,
or it cuts off, or they think, well, we got to sing more. It's like, no, there's a time to like wrap it up. And some of these songs, I guess with this particular song, they just thought, well, let's add a lot of explosions in the background, and like something's blowing up, and that's kind of how it would go. I took all that stuff out, so you won't be hearing that. But It almost didn't make the cut because of that. Susan says, just activity in your store will help. Yes.
For sure.
Baskin says, John's not long-winded. Take it from someone who is. No, you're not long-winded, Baskin Noodle. You're long-worded. And because you're long-worded, it just tends to fly over my head, and I'm staring at the screen going, what the hell did I just read? Duncan says, if I listen to John more than 15 minutes, I get very sleepy.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm surprised you actually hang out with us then.
Susan says, I promote all mine at 2.5%, some higher. I have heard people say, look, I've been promoting all this time at like 2 to 3%, and I just bumped up my percentages to like 7 to 8, and I've seen a lot of sales. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you gotta go in and work with what you think is best for you. The lower you're into these items for, the fewer bucks that you're paying for these items that you're listing, the more room you have to. I know a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to give more money to eBay, but it's part of the game. And yeah, you're giving more money to eBay, but you're making more sales. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just think it works great that way. My better sales are come from ones where I have promoted, in effect, like 8 to 10%. I have a markdown sale running. I have a coupon running, and here comes somebody. Despite all those three things, someone coming to me, making an offer, and I accept it, and I still make money. Duncan says, yes, she's home, and I'm in trouble on the housework.
Ooh.
Nope. Duncan, you can't blame the Dyson for breaking down because they have a lifetime warranty.
Yes, they do.
And yeah, you can get that replaced. Paul says, yeah, Jen, I nearly mentioned the hoodie earlier. My favorite colors are blue, black, and silver. Ooh. You want you need says, nice, good to know. I can cancel the order. Thank you for letting me know, John. I thought it would give me a defect. That will speed things up in the future.
Yes,
of the three options that you have, well, there's really four. If they don't pay, that's one that pops up after the fourth day. But the three you immediately see are buyer request to cancel, problem with address, or out of stock, damaged or out of stock. And the only one of those three that'll give you a defect is damaged or out of stock. Now, if you're damaged and out of stock and blame it on the buyer requests it and the buyer complains, that can be counted against you. So be very, very careful how you use it. Let's see. Basketball, John's Grand Funk Railroad, one of my favorite bands. Look, I just put it in AI. I've had some really strange songs come my way, and the ones that make the cut, I share with you guys. Amazon seller, who takes a train, drive or fly?
Well, like I used to tell people, is the Amtrak train, passenger trains are for the experience. The trip across country, or even from, let's say, California to Oregon or wherever, your trip on the train is part of the vacation. It's not just a means of getting from point A to point B. It is part of the trip. So your journey and vacation is all a part of being on the train. It's being able to see the country in all its beauty in a moving train that you're not having to drive.
Yeah. If you're driving, you got to stop, you got to go, you got to eat, you got to, spend a night in the hotel or whatever, and then get back up and go. You have all that bundled into the train. You can walk from, let's say, whether you're sitting in coach or if you have your own room, you can walk into the dining car, sit down, have a dinner, just like if you're at Denny's. Mm-hmm. There's a lounge car with like these glass windows that go up to the ceiling, and people go in there and hang out. They're like reclining chairs, and they got a bar and all that stuff, and you talk with people and just see the scenery is just really good on a lot of these routes.
It's really a nice experience. I mean, I say everybody should do it at least once, but it's not for everybody. Like, a lot of people can't be in a train that takes 3 days to get somewhere. So
3 days across country from coast to coast, or 2 days from LA to Chicago, or 1 day from Chicago to New York area, that kind of thing.
And you just got to pray that there's no delays, and that never happens. So you'll always have delays on a train.
All in a day's reviews. Is anyone here to do eBay full time? I think about
We are.
60% of the audience or the folks in chat are here doing it full time, including us. Amazon seller says, "You mean Las Vegas trams? Because I get using those. They're kind of fun to ride, like the train that runs from the different casinos. That one.
That's a
It's
tram.
but it's something like that. But you're kind of stuck in your seat.
It's a little more luxurious than that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. There's lots of things you can do. You know, the snack cars. You can go in there, hang out, play board games. There's a lot of things. It's like, do you want to drive and be behind a wheel and not be able to enjoy the scenery? Because when you're driving, half the time the interstate doesn't take you through an area that's worth looking at.
Yeah, you can go through some really crazy scenery up in the mountains, through the snow, that cars can't do.
Like the Coast Starlight that goes up the west coast from LA to Seattle. There's a part of the trip where you're like on the water.
You're literally
it's like
in
you
the
look
water.
at both sides of the track. It's like there's water. You don't see the track.
It's kind of frightening,
kind of cool. Kind of cool.
It scared the shit out of me.
Vasco Noodles, I'm in a rut. Rut me, LOL.
Uh-oh.
Jovial says, it's first time I've ever given a 50% partial refund. How long before eBay closes the case? Waiting for the buyer to confirm refund received. It's been 15 days. Definitely affecting my sales. Sucky buyer. It's 10 business days from the time you do it. So that's not counting the weekends. So 10 business days. Let's say you run one right now, or you do the 50% right now. The buyer, they send the buyer a message. Sometimes the buyer get it and say whatever and accept it, but the buyer never sees it. So now you have the Saturday, Sunday, not counted. The following Saturday and Sunday, not counted. And that's only, that becomes now the 11th business day on the following Monday. It's probably going to close very soon, but it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Hey, wait, going back to the train. Do you remember when we were on the Coast Starlight and we were traveling back home from Seattle, and the rocket was going off, and we had like a 6-hour delay because we had to sit and wait?
That was a different trip, because I remember flying home from Seattle. It was definitely a different trip. We've taken a lot of trips on the train.
Maybe it was the one that we went to Oxnard.
Oxnard. But yes, where like the
it was what is that base that they do the?
It's the Air Force Base where they launch all the test.
It was a
rockets that fire at the missiles. Vandenberg.
Oh my God. We were sitting there. We're stuck there sitting in a train.
We got to see it though.
For 6 hours. It was insane.
1900 store. Too many misleading info from YouTube influencers regarding selling on eBay, Etsy. Bad way to make a buck. Mm-hmm. But one thing you got to understand is what works for somebody may not work for you. You know, they have different sourcing, different items. There's people right now buying on Etsy. Maybe their account is set up differently. Like there's people right now on eBay that have holds on their money when they ship it out, and they don't get their money until the buyer receives it. I mean, I don't have that problem. Let's see. Susan says, John, I did that today. Put me on some Eva Cassidy LP today and took picks and drafts. Very productive.
Yeah. Sometimes you do just have to switch up your vibe.
John Carver says, today ended 59 items, everything active over 9 months, were lists similar after validating price and title keywords. Mm-hmm. And remember, don't forget your item description. I know there's a lot of people that say it's not necessary to have an item description, but if you're trying to get more exposure off of eBay, like on Google Shopping, they do utilize those keywords that are in your title, and your overflow for your title is in your item description. So eBay utilizes that AI tool that will pull from the item specifics that you have listed to create that for that purpose. But you're kind of leaving possible sales on the table if someone's searching for your item on Google and it just doesn't come up. Susan says, my tech department at my job on technical issues is, did you restart your computer? Of course, that is what they would say. Of course not. That's what all tech departments, you buy an item and it's like not working. Did you plug it in? No, I didn't. I mean, I guess that's why they ask, because there's people that will think, this should work right out of the box, right? I don't need electricity for some reason. I don't know. Keith says eBay told us that any listings that reaches 2 years old will now be deleted, which is why.
They told us that any listings that reaches 2 years old now. Huh?
Well, that could be. Okay.
Well, how is that even possible?
It's
if
a
the
stale
listing
listing.
is,
Look, you had
but
2
it's
years. You've had 2 years to sell it.
but it's relisting every 30 days.
Well, if you're doing an end item sell similar, then it will not. That's why you do your end items and sell similars. Paul Rose says, Jenna, he's probably just cleaning toilet bowls with a toothbrush and doing extra push-ups for laughing at the sergeant's mustache. Don't worry. I think of Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, if you guys have never seen Full Metal Jacket,
And then he's from Texas, right? So he's like, I'm from Texas, sir.
Yep. Yeah, I can only just... I haven't gotten a call saying that he's been kicked out, or he left, or... So, you know, I'm just praying that I will hear his voice soon.
Baskin says, wow, look at that rock on Jenna's finger. John must have auctioned most of his right side body parts for that one. Beard says, John, nothing you do is right. Just face it. Well, thank you for joining us. I guess nap time is over.
Yeah. He finally woke up because he's probably going to do a show in about 30 minutes.
Did you find Bigfoot? That's what I want to know. Sense of humor says, a clove of garlic is the best.
A
clove of garlic. What did I say? A glove?
Yeah.
A glove of garlic is the
A
best.
clove of garlic is the best.
Beard says, you are Skippy McSkipperson. I skip the comments that are not meant for me, sir. Keith says, John, have you never heard the expression happy wife, happy life?
Yeah, he doesn't live by that.
I don't. You're not happy?
No, I am happy.
Well, then she's happy.
But when I'm not happy,
Okay,
he doesn't.
Now she's not happy. Make up your mind.
He doesn't get the concept.
1900 store says, I sent an offer to the buyer on eBay. No answer. How long it takes for buyers to answer? Whenever they get it. See, some buyers don't see it. That's the thing. When your eBay rep on the phone says, well, message your buyer. Well, they're a zero feedback buyer. They probably don't even know where the message system is, and they don't care. They bought one item, and they don't want a pen pal. They just want their item, and they're probably not going to buy on eBay again. So the idea that they're going to quickly go back and forth with me is not an option.
Some people don't have their notifications turned on. Some people have them completely turned off. You know, I don't get a lot of messages on certain things because I don't want to hear it all day long.
900 store says, oops, we already read that one. Duncan says, you need to do a periodic stock check to see if the listing is still actually active. They often delete some of mine. You should be doing that at least, I'd say, every 6 months. Yeah. You want your needs. Says, I appreciate you two for putting these shows together. You both really made today brighter. I hope you feel better soon, Jenna, and that you both have a great weekend.
Well, thank you. We hope you do too.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
We enjoy hanging out with you guys, and we enjoy the fact that you guys have tons of things that you probably would rather do, and yet you're still here hanging out with us. So there's 110 of you guys right now that are watching. That's pretty awesome. Baskin Noodle says, I haven't read the Q4 report. I was making a pizza of myself. My poor pepperoni. The PPP makes me want to pee-pee.
Oh, Lord.
John Carver, how do I get old messages format? No longer can create new folders. That's a good question. I just put up with the new messaging system where it's not an email anymore like it used to be. Yeah. Maybe someone like James might know. I don't even how many people here would rather go back to that. I really don't care. I don't want to look for multiple messages. I'd rather just find one thread. Beard says, to Baskin Noodle, small tangerines in a bag. Now they are good early in fall, but now not much flavor.
Ours are usually pretty good.
And then Beard says, James, I keep waiting for your viral dog video. Then I will film my Dachshunds, whatever. Wiener dogs. Paul Rose, if I were on the board, I'd be making some changes too. The first would be ensuring Jamie can sing soprano. LOL.
Wait a minute.
Gift action. Keith gifted. You want to tell who got gifted?
You just moved it. Jody Wilbur. Yay!
Good job. Well, thank you, Keith. Appreciate that. We just got through doing a members-only roundtable that we like to do every 2 weeks on a Wednesday, where we get together, maybe about 20, 30 of us, and we're looking at each other's stores, talking about best practices, things that we can do to improve our situations. And when no one volunteers, we look at other stores. Beard says, I saw John's brain do a control delete in real time. And he says, cilantro tastes like soap.
No, only to some people. It doesn't to me.
Only when you get it mixed in with the soap that's in your beard. That
Ew.
might be why, the
That's
aftertaste.
disgusting.
Paul Rose says, B-Nudes, you get my vote, LOL. KFC or FAA membership, hard choice. Well, our content is fresh. Michael Phillips says,
You can do it.
Oops, you didn't do it. Oh, that was the whole music.
Oh, wow.
You can do it!
There you go.
You
Sorry, I
failed.
didn't mean to hit that button.
failed.
You get nightmares of
Sense
eBay.
of humor. 27 Kohl's stores are closing. I think
That's weird. How come our sensor didn't go?
There it is.
Yeah, but
Someone is at the front door.
our notification for the front lights, the front camera didn't go off. Baskin, so you're saying I'm IA and not AI, independently audacious versus insignificantly intelligent, or artificially intelligent. Yes. 1900 stores. KFC in Japan tastes like spit? I don't know. You would think it's the same. They're just shipping it in a boat across the ocean. Excuse me, was that FedEx?
Yep.
Okay, John Carver says, hope everyone has clear skies. My wife just told me to get off the computer and look at all the planets. I could only see 9, but at one time we're taught there were 9. You guys have a telescope?
Right now?
I don't know. Beard says, who eats Denny's on vacation? I got to tell you, there's not a whole lot better for breakfast than a Grand Slam, my friend. Or one of their skillets.
You know what I miss? Remember that place we used to go before bowling, and I would get pancakes because I used to get heartburn really bad, and I would eat pancakes there. Those were the best pancakes ever. What was the name of that place?
I don't know. Paul Rose says, driving long distance on our motorways is tiring. Yes,
Yeah.
and you got to stop, you got to rest, you got to
gotta
stretch,
pee.
you got to put gas in, you got
I
to
got a snack.
yeah, you got to stop again,
You gotta
and
take pictures.
you don't have to do all that on the train. Beard says, what WTF, Paul? 3 hours from one end to the other.
Yeah. I don't know where you think he lives.
That's in the UK.
I know,
So
but
Scott,
that's not
it's
3
not
hours.
that small. You can spend more than triple that on the train. LOL.
Yeah, but your trains, I think their trains are more,
Commuter trains.
no, they're more,
Rinky dink.
newer. They're more, what is the word?
You guys could take the train to France underneath the water there, I think, right?
What?
Jules Y75, yeah, train from DC to New York City is definitely not scenic going through New Jersey, but saves a ton of time flying from New York City.
That's
yeah,
true.
going through New Jersey, it's like pretty sad.
It's
all the
really-
rusted out buildings and stuff.
Graffiti everywhere, the trash, yeah.
So we got some stuff going on with the
Planetary
planets.
Parade. I
Well,
want to see that.
Well, you can't because we live in Vegas and the skyline is so bright here because of all the lights and stuff that it's going to be hard to see anything.
What if we go up to Area 51?
We could, and then we can let everyone. We could say that we did, and tell everyone we did, but not actually do it. Basket Noodle says, I rode the Skytram around Disney World and refused to get off until they fed me.
You must have been on there a long time.
1900 store, 70 listings on eBay. I sent 2 offers, 0 answers. I don't know how the offer system works. No, you're doing it right.
You're doing fine, but you're going to get a lot of people who don't respond. And also keep in mind that those likes or whatever they could be people that are looking at your listing while they're making their listing and just using your information.
Beard says 10 business days, not including the weekends. John is so smart. But you have to clarify that sometimes, Beard. Jules says those trains go through some rough areas and kind of glad it's like going like 180 miles an hour.
Yeah, there are
That's
some
like the-
really rough places around this country.
That's like the Acela Express train.
Yeah.
Paul Rose says 1900 store, just keep sending them as soon as you see them. The buyer you send them to is not forced to reply. Could be instant or never, right?
Yeah.
I mean, would you
You
reply if you got an email? Let's say you're doing something not even related to shopping, and you get a couple hours after you're shopping, you get a message from someone saying, "Oh, offering this price," and either you've already bought the item, or you're just not like ready to buy right now. You're just gonna put the phone down. You're not gonna reply.
Yes, I mean you send out offers. Don't ever my thing is I don't ever expect anybody to reply or to accept or even decline for that matter. If they do, great. If they don't, oh well, it's still there. Somebody else can see it.
We got Nicole with us regarding the phone calls. I once worked as a contractor at Geico. Was calling banks to get a payoff information for total lost cars due to Hurricane Irma. I called Capital One and was on the phone for quite some time. Representative said they aren't supposed to be on the phone that long. I reminded her we just resolved 10 different claims. 10 different customers received resolution.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when I had first worked, this is like in the 90s when I worked at Amtrak. And I was a phone agent, a frontline agent in the 90s.
Wow.
And we had something called the USA Rail Pass. And you got to make a trip where you could take 3 stops where you're off the train more than 24 hours and get back on and make like a trip around the country, right? And one lady wanted to go in the summertime, and almost all the trains were sold out because there's only so many seats they allocate to every train. And she's like, I don't care how long it takes. I need you to help me set up this trip. And here's the cities I want to go to. And I spent the better part of 2 hours, and she's like literally cleaning her house while I'm looking all these trains up for her.
I did that with a little old lady who said, I don't care where I go, but I'm in Minnesota and I want to use the USA Rail Pass, and I want the biggest one.
Yeah.
And I would like to go here, and that she only gave me 2 destinations. So I was on that phone call for 4 hours, and I was being monitored by my supervisor. And when I finally got off that call, I went to go to break, and I look over, and my supervisor's going.
Biff Bonfo says, I raised all my shipping prices for the first time in 4 years last night. I don't mind covering some of the cost myself to have an attractive shipping rate, but the gap was just getting too wide. So it sounds like you had a hybrid policy. Sometimes I use those knowing that it's going to cost much more to ship than what I'm charging. But sometimes your shipping can be so much that it's just like...
And then you hear Jenna in the shipping room going, are you stupid? What did you do, John?
Yeah. You didn't cover the shipping. This costs way more than that. Yes, I know. It's all included in the price. Amazon seller, if eBay is really deleting listings after 2 years, it's going to create problems for antique and rare book sellers. But, if your listing is not getting a lot of traction, what's the hurt in maybe every 6 months, maybe every year, doing a reset on those items? Beard, don't doubt Bigfoot. I will push you over the ice wall. And speaking of that, I do know he's going to be going live in about 15 minutes. So when we're done here, cruise on over to the Bearded Picker channel and check out, what he has to say. I don't know what he's going to talk about.
Just whatever he has to say today.
I don't know if there's a topic. I really don't know.
Well,
Todd says, why would eBay delete 2-year-old listings or any listings? Some things just take a long time to find the correct buyer because they consider it a stale listing that has no desire, and they are just getting rid of them. Biff says, if they aren't going to delete listings, I sell stuff from 2001 every single day. But maybe it's a glitch. Maybe it's, or it meant 2021. Maybe it's just a glitch. What do you got?
So Beard's topic is Amazon hates you. Accept it.
Duncan says, get well soon, Jen. I got to run. Well, nice to see you, Duncan.
Thank you, Duncan. Take care. I hope you don't get in too much trouble.
Beard says he's here against his will. LOL.
Lies.
Even if you end and sell similar, I would consider doing that. It shouldn't drop off if you end and sell similar, I don't think. Beard says, damn, neither one of you are right. Wiener dog. 1900 store, happy life, sleeping wife. LOL. Yes. Amazon seller says, Biff, I have listings that have been active since 2011 that we're still selling today. Movie titles for one, still same movies from same distributors. It very well may be that certain categories are experiencing this. not the entirety of eBay, but just as every category has different, item specifics that we have to fill in. There's different teams that work with these that work with these categories. So it could be that they have something in place where they're trying to improve their metrics for their category. I don't know, but there's something definitely going on behind the scenes. You had something to say?
Nicole, my grand dog is a mini dachshund. His name is Biggie Smalls. Oh my God, I love it.
Those dogs are just kind of awkward for me. The wiener dogs. I'm not going to say it. Dachshunds. Dachshunds. That's not how you say it. Biff, we're on number 7 and 8 in the last 36 years. Susan says, with hypoglycemia, you just have to have something very few hours.
Every few hours.
Waffle House is not the best.
I've never had Waffle House.
No, it's like
I
Denny's.
know, he said
it's
it was
like
terrible.
a Temu version of Denny's.
Oh, God.
Larry Todd says, Britain needs Buc-ee's.
Oh,
We
love
need
Buc-ee's.
We need Buc-ee's out here.
We need Buc-ee's.
Susan says, fruits for me are nuts and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Susan says, John, you're wrong worded. No offense. LOL. I'm always wrong worded.
He really is.
Paul says, yeah, Jenna, the Channel Tunnel goes from England to France underwater.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
No way. I want to go there.
And to think, that person, that there's people that actually swim that thing, and they don't even know there's a train. Jack Emo says, been posting 10 to 20 items a day, sold under 10 items this week with 22 items in my store.
Posting 10 to 20
Is that is that normal for you? Some people, that's kind of normal, right? So is that good, bad?
Are you happy with it?
Most everything stores, on average, sell one item for every 100 to 150
Oh,
listings.
he's got more.
Click-through rate dropped 50, then I always had at least 250. So you're getting less traffic or maybe less exposure to your items. And no, Beard, I didn't wake you up.
Motors.
I did not wake you up, sir. Jack says eBay Motors, by the way. Yeah. I do know eBay Motors is sort of a special animal. We do have some parts, maybe 20 or 30 parts in our store through eBay Motors. And I don't know what to say. I think, though, and this may or may not be true for you, if you're using the compatibility tool to make sure that you have all the compatible model vehicles for that part listed, I think those are getting more exposure than the ones who aren't using that. But that's just from what I've noticed.
Grumpy
I'll just
John
have
is
to work
back.
harder. He's back.
He's not in our chat, but
Oh.
he's going to be on the line.
Craig says, whenever I get an offer, I decline it if I don't want it, so it's freed up for the seller to revise if they want to. Yeah. Underscore says, yes, I did intake for State Farm, and time limit was 7 minutes per call. It's like, yeah, but then what do you do with that person who just refuses to get off the phone?
Yeah, there are some times where you cannot get that person off the call. Yeah.
Mom on a mission's laughing, so hey, that's good. We did our job. Scott goes on in about 10 minutes.
Yep.
Susan says, I was on a vintage train that went through the woods, have Southeast Texas, did the adult car for beverages, love it. Yep, most of those trains have a place to get beverages like that.
Yeah.
A long story short says, what's the good word? Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Just grinding away as usual. Larry Todd says, Glenn, and Midwest Picker says, hey y'all, I'm late, but better late than never. And then apparently Grumpy John is going to be on the show. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, but I'll try. And that's a different John. I'm not grumpy by any means. You can look at me like that. That's fine, but not. And there's the link in the chat if you guys want to go check it out. And then 1900 Store says in Japan, a lot of tunnels underwater from island to island, which makes sense.
Ooh, me. I want to go to Japan.
A couple things. I want you guys to go and check out the Discord. I don't have the link at hand, but should be in the description box down below. Go check out the Discord. Join our community of folks that, instead of being on eBay Island, you have somewhere to go and talk and answer questions or ask questions or get into a discussion, ask for advice. It's a great place to go, and we're not there judging people. We're not talking down to people, so it's a great place to go, and it doesn't cost a thing. Go check it out. Want to thank you guys for being a part of the show. In about 10 minutes, go over to Bearded Picker's channel and give them some support. May or may not be on there, but either way, go over there and hang out.
He's going to be on
I
there.
probably will, but I got some things I got to take care of first. But in the meantime, hopefully Paul is still awake. It's very, very late in the UK.
I don't know, Paul, go to bed.
Hopefully James is still here with us. Before you go feed Puskin, Basket Noodle, hang out, listen to this. It may be a train wreck. Jenna thinks it's a train wreck, but nonetheless, it'll be the only time you'll ever hear it right now. And until next time, have a great weekend.
I'm about to leave the room. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, be kind,
have a great weekend,
and have lots of good sales.
And we'll see you on Monday, guys. Take care.
Mwah.
Chargebacks, returns, and lowball offers too. Zero takedowns, they're a pain, what can we do? High selling fees, bad buys, and rude buyers galore. Flipping ain't easy, but we keep coming back for more. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your side. Sourcing great items is the key to success. Subscribe to the channel and stand above the rest. Focus on the thing that is within your control. Hang with flipping ain't easy. Let's roll. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. All resellers are gonna make mistakes. Learn from them and you'll have what it takes. In the world of reselling, we're your guide. With flipping ain't easy by your style. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game. Catch the live streams on Mondays and Fridays. Join the Discord community for the parlays. Tune into the podcast. Profit Playbook's the name. With Scott and Josh, flipping's more than a game.